Well, this really is like something off a Christmas card. It's fantastic. We're on the river test this morning and the snow came last night, which makes it look even better. The river's full of big grayling and I'm going to show you a couple of methods to put some fish on the bank. Let's go and get a bite. Having fed the peg a little bit, I'm sort of just trotting it down in between the weed. I'm just trying to learn the swim at the moment. There's sort of little rafts of weed and those grayling will be just stuck under the weed. They'll be sheltering under there, and as morsels of food come down, they'll just come out the weed and you know, grab any food that's coming along. I've got to learn the swim first. I've gone down and hooked the bottom just further under that tree, so there's either a bump or a snag there. Just winding back, dropping it there, throwing the maggots in, letting them go down as they feed the way between the float feeds itself down there between the weeds. The streamer weed there. We're just hoping for a decent grayling just to pop his head out, and as those maggots drift past, sort of he'll be in the flow like this and he'll just move across and take the bait. And normally it's virtually a hook up. They hook themselves virtually because, you know, they've come out and they've dropped back with the bait in the mouth, so it's literally the float goes under. It's just a matter of, you know, tightening on the fish and he's yours. Grayling in the river. Oh, I've come out. Could this be the first grayling of the day? It's not a big fish, but in this current they're all good fighters. Unbelievable. First fish of the day. Is it a grayling? It's a small grayling, yes it is. Look at that. Perfect little grayling. Look at that. There you go. First cast. And look what we got, a very, very small grayling, but a beautiful little fish. And remember, this is the future of the test. In years to come, this could be, well, a 2-pounder or maybe even a magical 3-pounder. So never be disappointed in getting small fish, they're the future. Beautiful fish. For years condemned by fly anglers for taking the fly. Of course, anglers love the species, and modern day fly anglers too. And in a mixed fishery like this, part of a perfect balance. Look at that, a beautiful, beautiful fish. You couldn't have a simpler method. All I've got is a 2 swan shot chubber float. I tend to use the chubber float on rivers like the Tess, because what you've got as you roam along the bank, you've got very, very fast glides, very bubbly, very broken water. Then you've got easy water, which is very flat and almost like a canal. But the problem is, the ideal float for the slacker water is a stick float, perhaps with button down shot, and the ideal for the very fast water is this. But the stick float's very poor float in the very, very fast water, as this is not so bad in either types of water. So if you're going to be roaming the river, then I would say this is the best all-round float. And I've got those 2 swans, those 2 SSG shots right down the bottom. Looks crude, but all I'm doing is bulk down in the heavy flow. I've just got it bulked down there. No other shot on it all, believe it or not. Sometimes I might put a small sort of 6 or an 8 down the bottom, but I'm not even doing that today, or not yet. And then a size 16 hook with 2 maggots on. I've been putting a white and a red, but I don't think it really matters, but that's what I tend to do. I tend to buy, on a day like this, I'll buy 3 pints of maggots, I'll buy 2 pints of whites, 1 pint of red, mix them up, and I use the reds mainly as hook baits and feed. But again, very, very gently put 3 or 4 maggots in at a time. If you start putting a handful in, you'll catch fish, but they'll be trout. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put this in, and what's going to happen is that's going to take it down very quickly, because if you've got very little shot or the button method of shotting, all that happens is your bait's up in the water. I want it down, I want it going through the water, very down low. A lot of those grayling are down on the bottom, and I'm just going to edge it through the swim. Just drop the bait in, that bait's gone right to the bottom, put some maggots in, follow it down, nice and easy. So now I'm letting the line out, letting the float go, holding high, keeping the line off the water as much as I can. Look, down the float goes, down it goes, down it goes. Those grayling are just about there. Not that time by the look of it. Yep, there's a bite. Oh yes, got it. And another one. You see, crude it might be, but you know, the proof's in the eating, isn't it? The bait is down where the fish are. And that's the important thing with fishing, getting the bait where the fish are. They're down in the water. Look, typical grayling fight. Cross the stream one way, across the other, with that great big dorsal fin. These are only small fish, but I'll show you a method later, which hopefully will catch a slightly bigger fish. But be in no doubt, this method now, what I'm catching small fish with, will catch you some very, very big fish. Another small grayling, very typical size shoal grayling, but very much worth catching. You know, there's a lot of people in this country never seen a grayling, never mind caught one. And there's the grayling, look, a beautiful, beautiful fish. That's probably never seen a hook before, ever. It's a little carrier stream coming into the main river. I've just walked up, fed, and there they are. Look at that. Let's put him back. Beautiful fish. In you go. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful fish. They are one of the most fabulous fish in this country. There. We'll call that the last one trotting, and we'll go and hopefully catch a bigger one. Let's put that one back. Bye-bye medium to small grayling. Let's hope I can get a big one on the main river. Let's go. Having moved from the side stream, we've actually come onto the main river test. And what I'm hoping to do now is this afternoon, having caught a number of small fish up to probably about 3/4 of a pound, and I'm not saying those are real small fish, they're fantastic fish to catch, but hopefully this afternoon now on this, the second method which I'm about to show you is a method that I've caught a lot of big grayling in the past on other rivers, and hopefully today we'll see if we can produce a better fish this afternoon here. And what it is a simple feeder method. Now a lot of people might say, I don't want to feed a fish for grayling, then don't. If you want to traditionally use the float, by all means, but this is still a very, very good method to catch big grayling. All it is a fixed paternoster. There you go, I've got about 4 inches of line coming off the main line with a light feeder. Tiniest feeder I can get with a lightweight. The flow isn't heavy here, so I don't want it sort of stuck out there with 2 ounces of lead on, lightweight. And then I've tied a loop on and then just put a hook to nylon on there. That's a 4-pound hook to nylon to a size 16 hook with 2 maggots. And that's it. Again, as simple as it gets. As simple as it gets. We're going to fill that up with maggots, cast it into the swim and wait for that tip to go round. Now, the rod that I'm using, if you look at the tip, this rod is about 45 years old. I bought it when I was a kid, or my father bought it me. And I had a very soft tip put in it, and it's absolutely perfect for grayling. Grayling, when they twist in the water, you can pull out of them. This is a glass tip. This is a glass rod actually. This is not carbon. It's all glass. It's a short rod. It's about 10.5 foot, and the tip is glass. And when you get a take, it goes all the way round. And when you're playing a fish, very soft tip. So all that sort of shaking and twisting in the water is absorbed by the rod. It's a pity that glass rods finished when they did, because carbon came in and there was still room for glass rods, and I still use glass rods now. In a situation like this is better than carbon. It really is, especially the tips. Nice soft tip. They're giving you an indication without feeling that tip. Let's put it in and see if we can catch one. What I'm actually doing is sort of casting it virtually where I would be trotting a float. But what I'm doing is, that bait is stationary, and those fish can look at that bait. Here we go, another tap round. Fish are on that straight away. If you just look at the tip, what you'll do is you'll get a little bump like that, and then you'll see the tip slowly go round. Grayling are sort of quite vicious takers of that tip. Look, there was a little tiny tip. There it goes round. Look, see, bang. Whoa, yeah, see it? Oh, missed it. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm in. Cool. There you go. A small grayling. Straight away. Did you see it? There you go. First grayling on the tip. Yeah, I've moved up about 20 yards now. That swim seemed to die on me a little bit, so what I've just moved up. There's another grayling. Not picking up the monsters yet, but as I say, I had a brace of threes actually. I had a 3-2 and a 3-6 one day using this method. Small feeder. It really is a super method to sort out those bigger fish. I don't know how many hundreds of hours I've actually spent watching a tip or sending the float down rivers all around the country. In fact, probably all over Europe, chasing grayling. I remember catching my first 2-pounder 2-2. I was absolutely over the moon and dreamt of 3-pounders. And for many years, my best was 213 from the River Frome in Dorset. And then, is this another grayling? And the amount of times I wanted a 3-pounder, and eventually I got that 3-pounder. I got it from the top end of the River Severn, and it was one of those moments in my life, you know. And I've had big fish from all around the world, but a big grayling had always eluded me. But then all of a sudden, a 3-pounder. And there's another grayling, and I'm pleased with every one of them. That's not a 3-pounder by a long, long way, but it's a nice fish. Look at that. Another beautiful grayling. Look at that. Probably just about 3/4 of a pound. But I've spent many, many hours enjoying myself catching fish like this. They are for me one of the most beautiful fish. Look at that. As the day goes on, the less and less snow there's on the ground, which is a great pity really, because this morning it was absolutely delightful. As I've said before, it was just like a Christmas card. It really was beautiful, but you know, we're still sitting here, and as the light drops, we've got a chance of a big grayling this way. We could easily go onto the Callier stream and catch, you know, grayling after grayling, maybe a big one, I don't know, but certainly lots of small ones, that's for sure. But now, on this method, it's hard on the bottom. You know, this is a method for that bigger fish. And perhaps as that light just drops, the sun goes over the trees there, all of a sudden we could get a pluck. I just had a little pluck then. You know, all of a sudden it can change just like that. You know, right out the blue, you've got a 2.5 pound, maybe even 3-pound grayling in the net. Probably my 16th or 17th grayling of the day. No monsters, certainly no 2 or 3-pounders, but hey, what great fun. And I should probably fish on till dark, see if I can get a bigger fish. But hey, I'm not going to moan. I've had a great day, and I feel really, really glad to be alive when you're catching fish like this. Let's put it back to the water. Great day. I've got a feeling we might have a better one. Got a big grayling here. This is the one that we wanted. That's the one we wanted, folks. Well, there you go, folks. Long trotting, we caught a lot of small fish up to about a pound. Fabulous fishing. That was in the side stream. And then I said I'd show you this method of the feeder that would catch a better fish, and sure enough, the average has gone up. We've been having quite a lot of fish, around about the pound, and then what we've got now is a lovely, lovely grayling. Look at that dorsal fin. Look at that dorsal fin. Fabulous, fabulous fish. What a way to end the day with a beautiful, beautiful winter grayling. Fabulous fishing. Let's put him back. What a beautiful fish, eh? A typical river test grayling. Made my day. Go on, back you go. Back you go. Back to your mates. Yeah. Well, that worked out perfect, didn't it? We started off on that back stream. I showed you long trotting. We caught a lot of fish and showed how good a method it was. And then I said that if we come back onto the main river and use the feeder, stationary bait, see if we could pick up a better fish. And sure enough, we were catching small grayling even on the feeder, but then suddenly, as the afternoon and the light just started to drop away, the feeder came into its own and produced that beautiful grayling and made a fabulous day. The temperature's dropping. It's going to go frosty. I'm going to jump in the car, put the heater on and head for home. What a day.